listeners, Harika here, and I'm super excited to welcome you to UppTalk. If you're ready to learn and get your hands work wonders in the world of information technology, then you're in the right place. When I say UppTalk, we are not just another edtech company. Consider we are your learning partner committed to unlocking your full potential. Whether you're stepping into the world of technology for the first time or looking to advance your career, we provide top-tier, hands-on courses to build up your career. Let's take our first step towards learning here and explore it.
When you want to run retro, there is only specific months. The retro results can be fetched. And the tenant work we are using is GMS tenants. All employees may be. Payroll has been successfully processed. Some of the employees might be manually cancelled or manually processed. All these will cause issues with retro. Even Workday suggests some of the events may not be supported by retro. And that we have to adjust manually. However, I will give a try. This is also the scenario I'm taking, that's this page number 347. Explain the concept of retro. I think I know what it is, but could you explain it? Oh, definitely. For that, give me 1 second. These employees in two positions may not be supportive. I would like to resign. That's a good question. Do you have to only have one position? Definitely. Oh, really? If you have to, neither position can do retro. No. It's still work. It's still work. Employee cannot go into position. The just we are for which position we are processing and for which pay group we are processing that is required. You remember when you're processing. Identify position. I will explain. You remember when you're processing the on, demand or payroll input, what the last key position. Why? Because in which position, for which position you want to process correct. Position is not a thing. I want to understand what the other changes happen. Let's go see any of this empire doesn't have any pay results. Let me quickly run the payroll. Let's find another employee. I'm looking for an hourly wage employee. And why is that? Can you not run retro on salary? No, not that way. You can still run retro for solid employees. The reason why I'm selecting these as per the activity 14.4, it's simple. What is the retro? The parallel already has been completed. However, you would like to process any payment prior to payroll completion date that falls under retro. For example, say that again. I'm going with an example. For example, my base pay of my base pay 5,000. And my appraisal, appraisal in the sense salary hike increments has been declared in the month of February. And when he said you are eligible for 1,000 hike salary increment from then February 1st onwards. But company said we will. You are eligible for February 1st on 1,000 high, but we will pay this amount in the month of July salary. Oh, it starts in February, but they won't pay it out until July. What happens here? The company could be a budget issues on. Maybe employees will leave the organization that they want to retain for some time. Any other reason? I'm eligible for February. What happens? I assume I'm in the month of June now. Next month I should get my increment. Now how to process this? February, March I'll get 1,000. April I should get $1 extra. May I should get 1,000. June I should get 1,000, which means my arrears is 5,000. That should be processed in the month of July. Assume when I was in July month, I'm about to resume my salary, but my hike is announced on the February. This is called past pay results correct, which I have not received the amount. This amount we have to process through the red row. That is one. Another example, let's take this guy. This employee eligible for per hour euros. How come you are? This is, you asked one question why retros won't work properly. You can see here some good example is there. In our real systems, we have actual data. There's no harm at all. But now see here employees USA, but currency is European. And the event is something someone has created. These things are the hard stops for a payroll process. Let me find someone. Is this the only scenario for which retro applies? No. Any scenario, if the payroll is completed, then you would like to pay any amount can be arrears or any increment or any incentives which is from the past. Then you can initiate retro payments. When you're paying something from the past, could be any amount, but paying it now. Exactly. That is nothing but retro. And you have to enter in all the data for it to. We do have separate tasks. We do have reports to identify employees that are eligible or not. I want to go with the simple example as per the activity, but unfortunately not able to find the employees. Give me a second. I know this will happen, especially for retros. Ben Benjamin Leon. I do have a question. Please. It's not about retro, but it's about running payroll. Please, please. I have a payroll that's showing in process for a worker, but the period and date is not until like the 17th. Or, I'm sorry, like it's a few days out. But the payroll for the worker is showing in process. Just to read in statement. You are saying sorry. Can you repeat again, please? Let me go. There's a payroll for a worker that's showing in process because we haven't reached the period end date yet. Do I make sense? I don't know. I mean, I'm in a test center. And the only what I did was I did payroll input for her for 10 hours with a new differential code. I'm testing the code. And then I recalc the payroll just for her. And it's showing net pay 0. In the same tenant or something different. Something different. I don't understand that, and I guess my question is, what should I do? Should I just do an on-demand payroll but want it add to the current one, or I don't want it to? Oh, couple of questions to you. Maybe the interesting case study. First thing, did you get a chance to troubleshoot? Why it is 0 when you're processing in the period? Did you enter a house? So, did you enter a member of the house? A mom. I put it out. Now, first thing, when you enter a moon, does this employee whom you're testing is our leverage employee on the rate has been assigned something like this? It is compensation for yes. How will you have correct? He has. How will you plan? How will it be? The second question is the payroll input you're processing is falling in the same in progress dates. And we haven't reached the end of the pay period. The third thing, did you check the eligibility at that? How early wage earning? Is it employees matching? What is the criteria? What did you check eligibility? You might have the parallel input on the parallel input. You might have given some kind of eligibility. Correct. The parallel code. One thing or ongoing at pay component or sub period. It is select the amount included. And then did you select add to gross on the payroll input on a non-effectual date? I don't think you show me that really quick. For this multiple options to troubleshoot whatever I know, I will explain here. Then I'll pick up. on the comp plan, and also the effective date. I can think. Take the I'm sorry. I don't need whether employee match or not. Third thing, I have to gross is assigned to the earning on a non-effectual tab or not. Take the case with the hourly page salary map. Take the pair of correlations. Gross on net configured. It's the check. Take the run category employee status. On is there any compensation change initiated on hold? There are the things I like to check. And one more last thing is wait, let me see that. And the last thing I would request to check is, and then election rules. You will get audit alert. No gross, no net. In my experience, might be one of the reasons out of this. And you have to select the add to gross on the payroll input. Or on the earning. We have a non-effective data tab that must be mapped. Example, what I'm saying here is non-effective tab. Add to gross is mapped or not. If I remove this value, it's not going to add to gross. Hence, it will display 0. What I'm trying to test is the pay component. Am I making sense? Pay component. I have to gross also pay component. I'm just saying in general, but I have to gross also pay component. Net is also pay component, gross also pay component. Got it. I'm sure one of the reasons. Or maybe we haven't reached the period end and it's not going to cap the whole thing yet. No. When you initiate a recalculation, it should work. Because of recalculation, need to perform any changes to the employee, it should work. Alternately, instead of testing it this way, One thing, ma'am. That's what my question is. Would you like to troubleshoot or do you want to process immediately? If you want to troubleshoot, time consuming process. If you are in on demand, which means we have to process that amount at any cost, initiate on demand immediately. And it's going to not add to the current payroll. Correct. Additionally, even will be generated. It's going to be a separate check altogether. But is it going to do the deductions? Of course, you can also run deductions through on demand. All I'll have to see which one is the best way. That's why we have this parallel input concept. Every time. It will work properly, definitely. But fairly is I can't ask my employees, hey, I'm getting an error in the payroll. Let me resolve. Then I will pay you a remote. We can't ask them. That's why shortcuts are there. Shortcuts is nothing but payroll input. I run it. And then go back and what? Cancel once the other one. What we can do once the payroll has been deposited later, relax for the month, and then do adjustments or whatever for first 10 days. On demand requires payroll input. You have to pull up and put on demand. Advantage of on demand at hockey is it doesn't look for any eligibility. It doesn't look for any eligible. You can process the payment even though it is not eligible. And what's the program run on demand? You're asking a reason. Let me ask what's the task. We have multiple options. Let me show. It looks for no eligibility. Correct. Or it doesn't look for any integrity. We can task on demand. Run on demand. Run on demand payment for worker. Select the worker. And I have already done payroll input. Now it's being out as part of the other payroll. Or I could just put the worker's name period. No. First we have to enter these values. Which one we were calling the from the pay group. You can pick up just a second. I will tell. There's a part of pay group admin regionals. They grew by default. It will available. Then the employees from this pay group, whoever is part of this pay group, will be available. Let me check who are all part of this. Ashanti Singh. Then select to why are you? Are you going to replace the payment? Are you going to give additional payment? One of the reason. Give a reason why you're initiating this. And I can just make up any batch. You can also create one if you want. Paymented. Please make sure whatever the payment that you want to process. Period, I'll get it currently. Let's say I would say the same month 1/16, 2019. Payment. Let the Workday will generate the auto payment ID that will float the finance. Or if you'd like to give manual ID, you can select and enter the manual ID here. Pure. If you're processing only one, select one. Scroll down. Direct deposit. Checking. There's no changes in the taxes. Ignore it. Go with existing. Call the pay component here. For example, if the multiple positions, input amount, enter the input amount. I just put hours, but maybe I shouldn't do that. No, you can do. You should do that, but set the prompt. If that is the case, it based on the input. What you created now I call the base pay, which let me allow to enter only the amount. If I select, then you should allow you here. Two options should come amounts or how hours. Prorated or unpro. Hourly pay is the pay component. But only one thing, if you're going with this option is please make sure the employee must be paired type is hourly in the job profile. What I'm saying here is this guy is how early from where this we are defining hourly go to his job profile. Sorry, job details, job profile. He should have this check this employee that whatever I said is a pay type. Cool. It also impacts if they should not have any hourly period type under my earning. I said this employee hourly wage employees, sorry. Whosoever part of period that employee is eligible for different learning, but I have not mapped this at work. Definitely. Everything is interlinked. And then go back to the answer. But this guy whom we are processing is. Sorry, let's give a try. And then do I still have to run the accounting after I run this? Of course you have to run them. I will show. I'll show you total. What are the hours you have? What are the hours you have entered under it multiplied with the rate? This is what the employee got. Now go to the pay result reduction. Initiate accounting process manually. And inform the accounting team from the accounting. To be honest, I also doesn't have much idea how to handle this, but they'll initiate manually something like this. And once you do that, then the entries have gone to the general ledger. Then again, go back to the employee pay result. In it. Oh, not this. Let's go to the worker. who we are running. I'm showing this thing. Then do you have to go to complete? It's currently in progress. Pick up mark as complete. Then we'll ask the finance team to initiate check payment of banking deposit settlement run for individual employees. Task is done, but please, we have to give an update to the accounting team to ensure they also should be aware that you have run this to completion. Manually adjusted. Thank you. No problem. Now back to retro. Definitely. We have 15 minutes left, not sure, but give a try. The scenario, assume we have a hourly wage employee. This is in the page number 3, 4347. We have a hourly wage employee. Let's take this scenario. An employee has worked for 40 hours in a week. Per rate amount is 50. 2,000 has been processed. Employee is supposed to work for 40 hours and the employee should get 45 hours. Oh, excuse me. I'll put on the document. If I not run the document, I might have run for, let me take one. I'm like first to, Sean, do you think Gary will check where Gary is? I can see 100% full time. Still, it's the process for this employee. No problem. I'm not going as per the book. This is my own scenario. I want to check. First is pay. Let me check all the pay things. Not accurate. Gaji, I just would like to see the employee pay process in progress are completed. Perfect. We have our test employee ready. Let's test for this worker, Amber Vassar. Amber Vassar. Control C. Now take a scenario. This employee is a salaried employee and the employee got the gross someone somewhere 32660 and the total tax deductions and net amount is 2 of 387. Which month same monthly 1 month 2019. What are the current status is successfully completed. Now let's say there is a high amount as initiated in the month of December 2018. The month of December 2018, somewhere around $2,000 is a height has been in. Sorry, this employee is eligible for some salary hike of somewhere around 2000, somewhere around 2000. Eligible for December. Don't take current date. Take this date on. We are in 1 month 29. Priority is prior pay period is December 16, December 2018. She's eligible for the audit. Now, we already marked the list complete. We already marked. The playlist has been successfully completed. Now I want to initiate the payment. I want to initiate the payment on that period, past period. And then I want to bring that amount as a retro in the current month, which means 1/16, 2019 is my requirement is clear. Let me put in the document. Current pay period is T1 this one. Employee does an increment of 2,000. Employee is eligible on 12/16, 2018. Increment of increment is for 2,000 and process is to be committed. But company said they will process this amount in the 16/1 2090 16 2090. Now the payroll is already completed and I will assign the payroll input on this date. When I run the payroll, it should bring in the current month. What are the funniest questions from the customer? Not customer. Maybe someone learning. Why we have to do? You can give the same amount in the current month. Why you have to give in the past month and bring this data to the current month because of tax purposes. Click. You have to have the system calculate the taxes from that date. Correct, ma'am. And the second thing, that is one second thing, is there might be increment of $1,000 per month. System should bring and display as LAX or your past payment or retro payment, something like that. That is also required. Thank you. Let's this. I pray God should work. I'm going to assign the payroll input prior to this date. Before that, let me run the retro to ensure this employee is not eligible. I want to know who are eligible for retro payments. Past changes happened. It's going to be like 2 weeks of the increased pay exactly. Plus that's going to go into year end to the prior year. Semi-monthly professional regional. Let's see semi-monthly professional regional. To make sure this employee is smart, retro network, they will decide. I'm learning that this will help us to understand either employees do we need to process it at the payment for any employees in this pay group. It will bring all eligible employees for retro in the system-supported retro to process. We have only one employee. Let's see who is that. It be ours. Oh no, we didn't send it anything. Oh difference. 5 different needs to be processed. Makes sense. Canceling our expectations. When you run this task, our employee, whom we are doing this, our employee Amber, should come. I'm going to cancel this now. Cancel it too. Now let's go to our worker. You're on Run Retro. No, I'm adding the pay company at this moment. Started prior to this date. Could be, let me select 2012 somewhere later on 2018 December. Which pay component? We need to call this a question. Now we need to show the retro expectation. She should be displayed by this calculation. You essentially backdate the input. But you selected 12, 1 is the input date, but the race doesn't start until 12/16. Sorry. Can you please repeat again? The input date on the payroll input was December 1, 2018, prior to 2019. But I thought your note said that the increment, the raise, started on 12/16, or is that the pay date version 16? The intention of no employees eligible here. One sec. The example, what I explained is 16th, I said, but it doesn't look for any payment date as 16th or 31st. It just has to look into only one reason, that is, there is a past dated change happened, though the period is completed, that it should identify. Monthly professional regional. The payroll input date doesn't have to be. It should be past it. It can be any day, but it should be past it from the current payroll completion date. This is the current payroll completion date. Prior to this date, if you do any changes at compensation level or a payroll level, it should be that is called a trip, or else let me run it. That's why I should go as per the book, should not try my, but no, let me do one more thing. What I do here is, this is the example. In 2018 is a date. Let me try this. Let me know another way. What I'm doing is I'm increasing the employee salary to one like us dollar, which means in the month of December and in the month of June 2019. Employee got previous salary, the difference amount that is payroll has been processed on this amount. Now what? They should bring the amount automatically. What are the different? Someone we have given the difference amount, it should bring as a retro. Let's see that. Force minus 121,754. That is part random divided by a few semi-monthly 24,906 per semi-monthly. 2 semi-monthly applied by 3, 2, 70, 19, 2 if I should come. Let's give it a try. Let me quickly. Let me quickly check the effect of the composition. If December and if you should have compensation changes, then second impact. We need to make sure to run this ourselves. Sorry ma'am, repeat again, please. You gotta run this ourselves. I'll just take a second to take a question. Now we would like to see the composition of the composition to be assigned effective from state. You got any discrepancy here? Is there any discrepancy on noticing on a composition page? That makes sense. That's really hard. 2190. These many we have to send now. We get this is our 1 lakh US dollars. These many changes are there prior to that. All this needs to be. Let me give you an attempt. Wow, is it really this hard? No, it's not sort out, but I'm still giving it a try. I will tell you what went wrong. and Retro Pay has its own complete process. There's a complete process specific for retro. Yes, we do have that. It's not bringing. Now let me explain. These are lessons. I added a compensation change for this employee. I've done a compensation change effective from 2018 December. But prior to that, there are many changes. Already Workday has done. Someone has done the changes. These are all impacting our event. Now let me still give it a try. Why it is not bringing? Sorry, she should capture here. We'll see why it is not supported. This employee's retro has been identified, but with unsupported retro events. I don't want to give it to me just a minute. Give me a few minutes or give it a try. I will give the test data outcome. What's the issue? The time which we are working, she has European Europe, not the US currency, and she's not processing. I love different where we have actual results to test. Now I want to complete the payroll. Not sure which paper is progressed. This is the issue. Tenant should be clear. I'll say retro doesn't work at all. But, however, we'll run and we'll see the result. Now we can see how better. Twenty five, 29, 29, 29, 30, 39, 19, 19, 20, 20, 19, 20, 29, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 19, 20, 19, 20, 2019, 29, 29, 20, 2019, 29, 20, 20, 2019, 2019. Now we have test employee ready. Now let's see the scenario. This person, this test employee. The payroll has been successfully completed for 30/2019. The status is completed. Prior to this date I'm gonna add one payroll input for this guy. And I will initiate run retro. It should bring the retro reference. But one thing still haunting is there are still in progress. Payroll is not complete for prior to it. That may be impact. But let me quickly try. I'm gonna add the payroll input to it till 30/19. Prior to this, we have to give. I will select 2 and 2019. Do you have to put an end date on the payroll input? I'm going to enter because the 1 month difference and I'm going to bring and some selecting it is it. Is it required though? Is it? Yes, ma'am, two options here. In my scenario, what is the current? What is the current amount we are processing the payroll for the employee? This is the correct. 1 month prior to the date I'm adjusting. But if the scenario is as of today, you want to pay the difference amount as of today, then please don't include end date. My scenario is clear here. Prior to this date, I would like to process the difference on. I enter the date. That's me, sir. And what does override mean? I think we went over that. Now we discussed it. We discussed very recently in session. Override is nothing, but there is already a payroll input exist. Assume it's ongoing one, a deduction. That's a loan repayment. Every month employee paying 500. Employee agreed to pay 600. He wants to pay extra that he can close the loan quickly. Now you're overriding them. Hence you'll select the war. It's just for reporting purpose. Makes no. No, it is not. Let's say you're taking a loan from the company around 5,000. Then you agree to pay 500 per month. Which means in 10 months, you're supposed to plan to repay the amount. The payroll input also processing for the 500 per month. Your every month from your paycheck is deducted. After a few months, you told your payroll partner or finance guy, I would like to close my loan as well as possible. And I'm to increase my EMI. I would like to have $100 extra. Initially agreed to pay 500. Now you're ready to pay a few more dollars extra, which means you're overriding the current payment. That scenario we will select over. Do you have to select override? What's the other option? Once I can focus on this, then I'll come to this page to help you. When you select override, it's going to put what you defined in the payroll input. Once I come to a question, let me do this one please. It will pay what you put in there, not something else. I will address your question in a second. I want to see this employee here. This is what I'm trying now for. I told you, as I said, GMS tenants will never be supportive for because people will do practice. Compensation team will do compensation changes. Benefit team will do benefit changes in the payroll. If you want to make the past changes, definitely it's an impact. That's the reason I switched to community tenant. Here is the answer. Now these guys are a traumatized 139.8810 hours. I included. Difference is, which means he might have that in $30 per hour. Let's go check that. But we should run the scenario in the box. It didn't. After tax, he got the double. Now you tell me what's the questions. Now let me know. When you put over on the payroll input, it's going to pay just what you defined in payroll input. Let me explain that. Here I have payroll input. Oh, one time. You have taken $5,000 and you are to pay around $500 per month. Per month. You are to pay 500 US dollars per month. You're supposed to close your entire loan by October. But what is supposed to close your loan? The last payment of the 500. Now in the month of February. First tell me one question here. How to process the loan repayment with the help of payroll input. Correct? On good. Okay. John, you will. John, what you pay? $5. February payroll has been processed. The payroll input has been deducted. 500 US dollars. April also you have done, paid 500 US dollars. Now in the May month, you're getting some bonus, 1000 US dollars. Then you told your customer in the May month, instead of 500, I'm ready to pay $1000, which means the payroll input already having ongoing $500. Now you are overriding only for May month $2000. That is all. Because you already had one payroll input for ongoing for 500 exactly. Now you define a second one in May that says override the first one for 1000. You end date it as a one time. Exactly. It's an override. It's not an ongoing. You can go if you are ready to pay this $1000 continuously for the beginning months. Definitely. It can be ongoing as well. You're overriding the prior input. It's only overriding the input, not regular payroll. No, only the payroll input. Got it. I'm with you. I'm with you now. Thank you, ma'am. And luckily Retaro is also working. As I said, tenant is the issue. Good that Retaro is working. However, let's see the report side also. The employees eligible are not at least will complete this event. That's only reason. Anyhow, where to put on pending? Oh, we should go. If your employee is coming here, of course he will come. We already tested. Is eligible. We go. I'm really sorry for taking some more time today. Have a nice weekend. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@uptalk.com.